Chapter 3, Lesson 3. Our essential question that we need to answer is, does the order in which you perform an operation matter? It says expressions with the same value, like 12 plus 7 and 7 plus 12, are equivalent fractions. You can flip them. You can use the commutative and associative properties to write equivalent expressions. Let's look at Lesson 1. First of all, we do have key ideas. Please write these properties down and come back to the video. Okay, in the commutative property, changing the order of addends or factors does not change the sum or product. We've known this forever. No matter what order you put the numbers in for addition or multiplication, it will always come out the same. Changing the groupings of addends or factors does not change the sum or product. That's the associative property. In other words, taking numbers, it's all addition. I can add 7 plus 4 first, then add 2, or I can add 4 plus 2 first, and then add 7. It'll come out the same. Same with multiplication. We're going to be going through this in more detail. Example 1. The study tip is telling us that to check our answers is to put any number in the x value in the variable. Put any number you want. Say we made this a 2. Put it in there, check it out, and see if you put a 2 here, does 2 work over there? If 2 works on both sides, then we know any number will work on both sides. All right, let's look at A. Simplify the expression. We're going to use the associative property of addition because we have parentheses. Right now we have 12 plus x and then plus 7. Well, what we want to do is we want to keep the numbers together in the parentheses and keep the variable by itself. That's what you're doing in the associative property. You're moving the parentheses so it's around the numbers. So what they've done over here is they put the parentheses right here around the numbers so that you get the answer of 19 and add the variable. So your answer will be 19 plus x. Nobody gives us the answer to x, so that's how we have to end the expression. B, simplify the expression. Okay, so first, we know we can do the commutative property of addition. In other words, I can take this x and move it all the way over on this side because I can flip this around no problem. I can make the problem x plus 6.1. I didn't move the parentheses at all yet. All I did was flip it so that the x was on the outside and the numbers on the inside. So now I can say x plus 6.1 plus 8.4. That's commutative. Commutative. All I did was flip what was in the parentheses so that x is on the outside. That was step 1. Step 2. Now I move the parentheses, and that's the associative property. I can take those parentheses and move them to include only the numbers. Now I can figure out the problem. 6.1 plus 8.4 equals 14.5. Bring down my x and my plus. That's my answer. All right, let's take a look at C. Simplify the expression. I'm going to do parentheses first. 11y times 5. So here we have the problem. Now we got to break it apart. First of all, do I want to flip these numbers around at all for commutative, the ones in the parentheses? No, because y is on the outside and the two numbers are next to each other. So I can eliminate the commutative property. What I need to do is the associative property and move these parentheses so they are around the numbers. I do 5 times 11, which is 55, and then it says times y. Remember, anything right next to a parentheses is times. So 55y is our answer. Please do the on your own. Numbers 1 through 3, show your work, show the properties you're using, identify the properties. So in this case, whatever they did, they wrote associative property of addition. Here, we're working with multiplication, associative property of multiplication. Here, commutative property of addition. This is going to take a little time. So write it out correctly. Do the work, label it, and come back. Now we have key ideas for the addition property of 0 and the multiplication property of 0. Really, you're going to write this down in a minute, but what it means is the sum of any number and 0 is that number. 7 plus 0, 7. A plus 0, A. Multiplication, the product of any number and 0 is 0. The product of any number and 1 is that number. So we've got the properties of 0 and 1 in multiplication. 9 times 0, 0. 4 times 1, 4. I know you know this, but now they have names, these properties. So you need to write all this in your notes. Come back when you're done. All right, example 2, more practice in identifying properties. Here we have 9 times 0 times p. So what we need to do is do the associative property of multiplication. What did we do? We put in some parentheses. So we have 9 times 0, kept the variable out. So now we have 0 times p, which is 0. That also, no matter what p is, it's going to be 0. We call that the multiplication property of 0. So you used two different properties here. Let's look at B. Simplify the expression. We have 4.5 times r times 1. Okay, so now we have 4.5 times r times 1. They put the parentheses around the r and the 1. Why? Because r and 1 are always going to be r. R times 1, or x times 1, or s times 1, or 6 times 1, it's always going to be that number. So r times 1, is r. So now, to simplify this, we did 4.5 times r. So we did the associative property, which was to add parentheses, and then the multiplication property of 1. We got rid of the 1, we kept the r. And here we have 45r as our answer. Please do the on your own, number 4 through 7, and make sure you show your work. Come back when you're done. All right, now we're going to do example 3 in the real life application. Please look at the common error because this happens a lot. If the problem says you and 6 friends are on the team, you use the expression 7, not 6. It's you and 6 friends. So read carefully. You and 6 friends play on a basketball team. A sponsor paid $100 for the league fee. $100 straight out. Every problem in here is going to have $100. And X dollars for each player's t-shirt. And $68.25 for trophies. Write an expression for the total amount the sponsor paid. So you're going to add the league fee, the cost of the t-shirts, and the cost of the trophies. Because it tells you right here what he paid. You just got to get it all together. So you have $100, okay, plus t-shirts. Each player's t-shirt, we don't know what that is, so it's X, but how many players are there? 7. So 100 plus 7 7 players get a t-shirt. We don't know what the cost of that is. Plus $68.25 for trophies. All right. So what is the first thing we're going to do? We're going to do the commutative property. And why did we do that? Because we want to get X by itself. We do have 2 whole numbers we are working with. All right? 2 whole numbers. Now, in this case, we made 100 plus 6825, right here. 7x plus 168.25. Yes, we probably could have, or they probably could have put parentheses around the 100 and the 6825, but if you do that, then you have to note that you're doing the associative property of addition also. In this case, they chose to just do the commutative property because they were dealing with multiplication and addition, so that doesn't change anything. It can be in any order. And they put it all together. 7x, we don't know what x is, plus this, and you will get the answer. That is the expression you write for it. That's all you can get because you don't know what x is. So please do your on your own numbers 4 through 7, and I'll see you in class tomorrow.